Have you ever wondered what the meaning is of the two beasts that are rising in the book of Revelations, chapter 13? Well, today you are going to find out. Let's read. Revelations chapter 13. And I stood upon the sand of the sea, and saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon his heads the name of blasphemy. Now, what does that mean? You see, the first beast that is written off here, that is rising, it represents the rising ego mind that seeks to usurp divine authority of Christ, you see, of God's loving nature. You see, the ego mind or the carnal mind, it opposes itself and exalts itself against all that is called God, against everything that is called love, because God is love, you see. The ego mind or the carnal mind or the flesh mind naturally is against everything that is loving because its nature is rooted in fear, hatred, selfishness, and going after fleshly lusts. These things all oppose love naturally because love is equity. Equity is sharing. It is charity. You see, do you see how they are two opposing natures? So let's continue. Oh, the sea out of which it rises is the collective consciousness of man, or the collective subconscious mind of man, out of which the ego mind, the collective ego mind rises, you see, which seeks to usurp the authority of love, of God, you see. And then we read of it having 7 heads and 10 horns. The 7 heads, what do they represent? They represent the deadly sins, the 7 deadly sins: gluttony, wrath, and so on and so forth, which are all big surprise. They are all carnal. They are all fleshly. You see? They are all ego or selfish minded in the end. And then we read about the 10 crowns. The 10 crowns speaks of its collective power, you see, that it has. And when we keep reading in the verse 11, in the verse 11, the second beast rises. Now, what is the second beast? The second beast supports the first beast. The second beast symbolizes worldly, religious, or intellectual power, or institutions like the worldly religions that we have, with all of the denominations and so on and so forth, of any religion. You see? It represents the worldly religious leaders of this world who support the ego driven mind that rises out of people, out of the subconscious collective mind of man. Now, why would the religious leaders of this world do that? I mean, think about it. For example, the Catholic Church. Hasn't the Catholic Church controlled the minds of the people, enslaved the minds of the people for hundreds upon hundreds of years, and has controlled them through fear and ignorance? The carnal mind or the ego mind is based in fear, in a fear mindset. Do you see why the allegiance comes into being? It's a natural allegiance. Needless to say, of course, all the worldly religions, the worldly religious leaders, and so on and so forth, they profit massively with people being ego minded, selfishly minded. You see? Look at the riches that the Catholic Church has acquired through exploiting the minds of the people for hundreds of years. They sold letters of indulgence to people. If you don't know what that is, it's basically a piece of paper that says, you paid us some money, you paid us some silver or gold. That means you will have so and so many years less in purgatory. Do you see how they have this allegiance with fear? How they profit off of fear, off of the fear that they control the minds of the people with? So I hope that gave you a greater understanding of what these two beasts represent. To sum it up again, the first beast, it represents the ego mind, the carnal flesh mind that rises up out of the collective consciousness of man, which exalts itself against all that is called God or love. You see, because the ego mind, the carnal mind, the flesh mind is rooted in fear, hatred, selfishness, and the lusts of the flesh, which are all contrary to love, contrary to God, you see? And the second beast is worldly, religious, or intellectual power or authority that supports the first beast, that supports the ego mind or the carnal mind, because it profits massively out of a fear-driven ego mind. So I hope that gave you a greater understanding today.